Welcome back, everybody. Harry P. from the Driftless Homestead. As you know, we heat with fire. I heat with firewood. My brother heats with firewood now, and then we heat the hunting cabin with firewood as well. We had about 9 cords on the ground this year of ash logs, and and the ash burns really, really well. Something I struggle with making firewood, and it seems so simple, but yet, you're out in the woods and you're swinging a saw all day, kind of gets difficult, is to make my wood all the same size, and the way it looks in the pile too. If I showed you down this pile, you'd see woods of varying length. I've got one here, obviously this one is not 18 inches. Here we've got, or 16 inches, excuse me. Here we got a 16-inch bar, and I'm way short on this. And then I've got other ones that are way too long, So when it comes to making firewood, you can burn wood that's too short. You can't get it in the stove to burn if it's too long. So it's important to process things the right way. And then all of a sudden, it says a lot about the work that you put out. If you look at your wood piles and they're nice and neat and everything's the same length, it all dries the same, it all burns the same as long as you can get it in. But it really does say something. And we got the little firewood stand going, and I think having a quality product going into those bags of firewood is a big deal, and that people see the consistency of the product that they're buying. So in my effort to try and cut these these firewood all the same length, I've done different things in the past. I went and bought this marker. As you roll this down the wood, it'll spray a little spot of paint every 16 inches and give you a good mark to put it down here. As you know, we're in Wisconsin and sometimes it's cold here, so I went to use this thing and the paint was frozen. It wouldn't come out of the can. So, this did me absolutely no good for cutting in the winter. And you have to cut in the winter in Wisconsin because we have oak wilt here. And if you try to cut when it's warm out and you damage an oak tree, there's possibility of getting oak wilt in your woods. And that's just a disaster because it spreads underground. The first happens is a beetle gets into the broken or the wound, and they give it that one initial oak tree, the oak wilt, and then from there the oaks transfer it to each other through their roots underneath the ground, and it'll wipe out all the oaks you have. So you won't be able to sell them, or you'll be able to make firewood, but we're here trying to develop market timber, so we don't want to hurt our oaks. So I couldn't use this, so I put the smaller bar on this saw, which is a 16-inch bar. So what I would do is I would lay the bar on the tree and kind of look over and see where that was falling, and then I would turn the saw and do it. Well, I'm constantly turning this saw back and forth, which you're throwing around a 12-pound weight, and I don't know, it just didn't seem real safe to me to have this chainsaw running and flipping it back and forth, and you're on uneven ground. So I thought there's got to be a better solution. So I just found something recently that is really, really nice. I think it's going to work well. I'll show you myself using it as we make firewood. This is a fiberglass stick that's 16 inches long with a rare earth magnet on here. So you just clip it on the bar of your chain, and you can go through, you can run it a couple of different ways. As long as you're cutting wood from here to here, 12, 14 inch round log, you can leave it on here and you could cut all the way through it. Or you can go by and just mark all your logs and move the end of this down to the next mark and keep working your way down. Bought a new saw, the 501i, and with that saw, the dogs are so big on it that I think I could leave this on here and cut full-size wood. This is a 25-inch bar on here, and this will go way deep into the dogs, and I don't ever have to take it off. I could just, continue. I could probably, cut a 24-inch log with this, and leave this fiberglass marking thing on here to get the to get my firewood all the same length, which standard length is 16 inches. And the reason, there's one standard in the firewood business, and that would be a cord which breaks in thirds to a phase cord. And a cord of wood is 4 feet high by 8 feet long by 4 feet deep. So 3 times 16 is 48 inches. That gets you your 3 foot deep. So when you're having discussions with people about wood, how much you're burning and how much you're making, and everything breaks down to that measurement. Another thing you can use, not so much when you're talking about volume of wood, but another thing you could use when you're talking about wood, I remember asking a wood boiler guy one time how efficient his wood boiler was, and he snapped on me. He's like, you can't measure efficiency. You can't compare efficiency from one boiler to the next. And I said, well, why is that? And he said, because of the inconsistency of wood. He said, first off, each wood burns at a different rate, so every manufacturer would have to burn the exact same wood, which, pick a species that puts off the same BTUs. And then he said the sizes of wood, so everything has to kind of have a standard, and I don't think that they're at a standard on that yet. The manufacturer just kind of puts out there what he thinks it should be. For myself, when I split this wood, as I've told you in the past, I try to split it in squares so it dries faster, but when you grab that square, it's pretty heavy, so you can look at wood that you're putting in the furnace, in your stove, fireplace, or wood boiler, as break it down to its weight, because its weight will put off a certain amount of BTUs. So it doesn't matter whether you have a 12-inch log or a 16-inch log. If it weighs X, it's going to put out Y. So just one way to look at things. So let me know how you guys are measuring out your firewood. I was watching Outdoors with the Morgans. Mike uses sidewalk chalk and a tape measure. Seems kind of involved for me. I don't have the patience for something like that. And then I was watching Andrew Easton from Easton Log Splitters, and he had an attachment similar to what I got there with the fiberglass rod, and he put a link on his video, and so you could click on it, but I clicked on it and it must have been in Canadian because it wouldn't come up. So I don't know what the deal was there. So I kept searching on the internet, and then I found this one that I purchased, and I think this is going to work just fine for what I got. I'd like to get that other one because then it's on like a swivel, and it snaps out and snaps back, so you could leave that on your saw as well. Even running the smaller saws, you don't ever have to take it off. So let me know what you're using to get your wood to a consistent length. So maybe what you're using is better than what I'm using, and I'll switch what I'm doing. So if you like the content, you want to see more, you want to see something different, leave me a note in the comments, and we'll see if we can do something in that direction. And then like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you have friends that are interested in the Stihl 501i, you have friends that are interested in Stihl chainsaws, share it with them. Show them the videos that we're doing and how we're getting our wood to the right length. And then hit that bell that bell notification button so that when I put out a new video, you get notified of it. And if it's something you're interested, I'd appreciate you watching. It really helps out the channel. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next video.